introduce yourself and let us know if you're a tenant or leaseholder on the estate.
Actually, Chair, I'm not a resident in the estate. I am co-vice chair of Clapham leaseholders, and I'm a resident of Westbury Estate, which is undergoing the same issue. I'd like to add, to associate myself with all the comments made by the residents of Cressingham. On this specific issue, expanding it further beyond Cressingham, this is not isolated. There is a systematic problem of lack of consultation or poor consultation, especially on an issue that is extremely important, that is at the center of everyone's life, without which no one can function. And for any local authority or public official or councillor to engage in an activity that leads to significant, life-changing, fundamental issue about people's lives in such a very casual, without providing complete and full information, is it's indefensible. This is about Cressingham, but the problem is wider. Just as an example, in Westbury, actually, there was no consultation. Let me repeat that. There was no consultation. And we found out by accident. And the only option, just like Cressingham, appears to be demolition. 4 of the 5 options are demolition, and the only one, which is sort of infill, is apparently not going to be accepted by residents. So, just like Cressingham, the problem is much deeper than that, and I associate myself with the pain and suffering of the residents of Cressingham. Thank you.
Could you just press the green button on your microphone? Thank you very much.
Can I just make a quick point on the same thing?
Okay, yeah, sure. If you press the green button, if you could tell us your name and whether you're a resident, tenant or leaseholder on the estate.
Hi, my name is Pam Douglas. I'm a leaseholder on Cressingham Gardens. I just wanted to pick up on a point about the test of opinion. I actually met the market research person as I was leaving the estate. He obviously tried to persuade me to stop en route and answer the questions, but I said no, I've got an appointment, I've got to go. But he actually flicked through the papers that he was holding, asked me my name, picked up my form, because these forms were not anonymous. Each householder had a form allocated to them. So in fact, I have no way of knowing whether the form that I finally completed was the same form that my neighbours had. And I find that concerning. And also, he would not give me the form to complete later. He did make it clear that he was under instructions to fill the form with the person on the doorstep. And that wasn't, here's the pen, fill out the form while I stand here. It's no, you tell me the answer, I'll write it down. It's not good enough, okay? Really not good enough.
Yeah,
Thanks.
Okay, I'm definitely getting beyond my list of people who have indicated they wanted to speak before the meeting, but if it's a very quick point on this specific one, if you want to come up.
I'm due to speak on the financial viability assessment, but I've got one sentence to say about that, if that's okay.
Yeah, that's fine.
So I just wanted to highlight that the Tenants and Residents Association and residents wanted a vote.
Sorry, what's your name?
Oh, sorry, my name's Tom Keene. I'm a leaseholder on Cressingham Gardens Estate. TRA wanted a ballot and a vote on the decision-making process. As I understand it, the 2011 Lambeth Housing Commission report recommended that a ballot be taken when there is to be a transfer of assets, which is what this special purpose vehicle, the financial sort of structure of this regeneration project is. It takes all houses out of council ownership into the ownership of a private company.
Slightly more than one sentence, but we'll later on. Obviously, I'll just give Councillor Bennett an opportunity to address some of those points. The broad thrust of it from everybody, as I probably don't need to repeat in full, was that this was quite a way of conducting the study, and I'm sure if you could address just some of the points, and then if you don't pick them all up, I'm sure other councillors can do that.
Thank you very much. So, just for reference, in fact, the test of opinion is on pages 117 to 159, though I'm not going to refer to it, it's just there for information. I just want to pick on one thing. I didn't say that the test of opinion was irrelevant. I said that no mandate was claimed by the council in coming to its decision. It provided information. It was a test of opinion. It gave us a formal and recorded voice from a range of people, but the council didn't then point to it and use it as the basis for a decision. I just want to make that clear. It wasn't irrelevant.
Can we not interrupt
on the way that the survey was carried out? And I'm not a market researcher, but my understanding of the instruction that was given was in order to try and get as high a response rate as possible, that the first approach would be to go door to door several times. If there was no response to the door, to then try phoning. If there was no response on phone, to then actually leave the survey behind for people to fill in their own time and send back. And I did think that someone had said they had kept a copy of it and sent it on. So it appears to have been an option, but I would agree it doesn't sound the right way to have gone about it from some people's experiences have been reported this evening. I'd certainly accept that. On some of the other issues around, and that copy of the earlier version was sent round with what we refer to as the resident-led options, which were in effect refurbishment. They were it was refurbishment options again when refurbishment had already been ruled out as unaffordable, and having already gone through a long process of working through what was and wasn't affordable in order to get to where we were, it would have been wrong to put things back in when we knew they weren't affordable, and then to ask people's views on something we knew wasn't viable. I don't know if I can respond to some of those issues on data protection or family issues, because I don't have necessarily experience of it. And just on Westbury, I completely dispute what was said. There's been very significant consultation in Westbury and before the Cabinet paper in December, which listed other estates to go into the programme. There's actually been a public meeting on the estate and letters that have gone out to residents as well. Ahead of that, there's been very, very significant amounts of consultation in Westbury, but I won't go into it because it's not necessarily relevant for this evening's decision.
And what about the point that it's normally a requirement if there is a stock transfer to have a ballot on the estate, and the gentleman was suggesting that the special purpose vehicle is, in all but name, a stock transfer?
So if, quite rightly, if there was a transfer en masse of an estate with people living in it to a housing association, you would need to have a ballot. What would be happening here is that as if a block was demolished, the land would be transferred and new homes would be built within the SPV. So there isn't actually a transfer of existing homes, and therefore it's not the same consideration.
You must be a lot.
There is. Yes, Minister, it will not be owned by the council.
Sorry, can we try and conduct it in a reasonable way? I mean, I think some people would find that a sort of semantic difference rather than a substantive one. What is the purpose of the special purpose vehicle? As I understand it, there are arguments around protecting stock from like fire and things like that. Perhaps you might just briefly fill us in on that.
Yeah. No, thank you. It's helpful, nudge in the right direction. So the purpose of the special purpose vehicle, and there's the same reasons being used by councils of Labour and other political complexions across the country, is that it's an effective way to build homes. First of all, it gives us access to other sources of finance. One example being, and it's been looked at elsewhere, is that pension funds need to invest money into schemes that are very secure and which do not have a significant rate of return, but which are stable, unlike a lot of savings accounts and others, and therefore it gives us access to other sources of money that the council would not be able to directly access. Secondly, it allows us to build a different range of homes. If we were doing it within the HRA, we'd have to either build homes just for social rent or for sale, whereas this, kind of looking, for example, at the Sun Lake and Road project would allow us to build homes at different levels of income, so we could offer something to people in the private rented sector where we could start to build homes with long-term tenancies, with a sense of rent security, so that people who cannot afford to buy, but are also never going to be able to qualify for a social home, can put down roots longer term in Lambeth. And the SPV gives us the opportunity to build homes at those different levels of rental income. And by building those homes for private rent, in effect cross-subsidises the social rent properties. So it's just a different way of being able to do that.
And do the people who are now council tenants in the new, when they become tenants of the special purpose vehicle that's constructed their homes, do they remain council tenants, and are their conditions of their tenancy remain the same?
So if you look within the
I'm asking the question, and then he's answering the question. I don't need any help, thanks.
Yeah, thank you. No, so existing council tenants would have an option either, one, to have a band-aid, the highest possible priority to bid for another home within the borough if that was of their choosing, or to take a new home on the estate, which met their needs. They would not be directly council tenants, but the SPV would be entirely owned by the council. Within the pack, you'll see there's been a lot of work done on what that would mean to try and provide the necessary levels of reassurance. First of all, there's the information for secure tenants from pages 209 to 224, which goes into a large amount of detail. There's also a draft assured tenancy, which is the same form of tenancy as a housing association. It would be a lifetime tenancy at council rent levels. We've gone through and as best possible matched as best we can, word for word, what is within the existing council tenancy. So the same issues around security, around succession, and everything else. That is in there from pages 45 to 68. And it's draft because we now have a long period of time where we can work through with residents to make sure that this does actually meet their needs for a lifetime home and make sure that it matches the requirements.
Okay. Thanks very much. I think we'll move along the table, if that's sensible. Councillor Nathanson, do you have any specific questions on the first point about the test of opinion? We're going to come on to the two other points of the call-in.
Thank you. My point, I suppose, would be to echo quite a lot of what has already been said by residents, and although you say there is no legal requirement for you to have done this test of opinion, do you not think as a cooperative council it should be built into our own mandate as a council that is how we operate, and that is how we consult with our residents?
I might take a couple more, if that's all right. Councillor Parr.
Thank you, Chair. Why didn't you just ask the question, do you support regeneration or refurbishment? It seems very odd to me to have a questionnaire that actually looks, I can see why you want to have the qualitative, as it was described, questions as well, to build up a bigger picture. But it seems a bit odd not to actually ask the key question and to let somebody sort of tick a box between them. I don't understand why the details of the resident devised options couldn't be left in with sufficient context to explain that the council believed that they were unviable.
Given that was 3 in total, I think I'll leave you with those 3. So, no legal requirement, but shouldn't the council take full view of what the test of opinion found? Why not just ask refurb versus demolition, and why not leave in the resident options with the caveat that they are explained that they're not viable?
Thank you very much, and they are helpful questions, which can all basically be answered in the same way, which is that we could have said regeneration or refurbishment, except that we'd already very clearly established that refurbishment wasn't a viable option, and it would have been, frankly, cynical to consult people on something that's not deliverable. It's like holding something out and saying, do you want this? Someone says yes, and you take it away. And for that reason, again, on the issue of the ballot, I've said throughout this process, or throughout my involvement in this process, that we simply, for financial and other reasons, don't have the luxury of choice. We had to work through all of the available evidence and come to a position where we could be confident that we could both deliver for existing tenants a home which met, and actually if it's rebuilt will exceed the Lambeth Housing Standard, which was affordable, and then actually goes beyond that and gives us the opportunity to increase